We are live for the 2022 NHL Draft Lottery. Yes, that's this time of year. It's May the 10th, and the Blackhawks are in the draft lottery. If they win, we lose our draft pick for next year. If they don't win, we're going for Connor Bedard next season. This is an interesting draft lottery for the Blackhawks. If they win tonight by winning either first or second overall, our first round pick for this year moves over to Columbus. If we lose, our first round pick goes to Columbus for this year. So, Hawks are probably wanting to, if I'm correct, I would say Hawks probably want to go for next year's draft, not this year's. Hey, Hawkthorne. Hey, Brian. And this should be an interesting game, interesting thing that happens. If the Hawks win the first overall pick, that's likely going to be Shane Wright as a Chicago Blackhawk. If they get the second overall pick, it's a toss-up. This year's draft is weaker than next year's. So, it's going to be an interesting thing to see what happens, to be quite honest with you. Wearing my Patrick Kane jersey for today's draft lottery. It should be interesting to see what happens, guys. It really should. Yes, Patrick Marleau today officially retired. Hawkthorne. This is how it goes. If the Blackhawks win the first or second overall pick, that is our draft pick. We're drafting this year in the first round. If we do not win and move from, we stay at like 6 or even go down in the draft lottery, that pick belongs to the Columbus Blue Jackets. So, the Hawks are in a strange point. They win, they're in. They get a first or second overall pick. They lose, it belongs to the Columbus Blue Jackets this year, and we keep our first round pick next year. If we win today, our first round pick moves to next year to Columbus. So, we don't have right now, how it sits, right now our pick belongs to the Columbus Blue Jackets, sitting at 6th overall. No, is it 6th or 5th overall? Let me check one moment, please. It would be a 6th overall pick. It's only top 2 protected. So if we win the first or second overall pick, we get our pick this year. Next year, it belongs to Columbus. That's all. The lottery isn't until for another 30 minutes on ESPN and ESPN Plus, which sucks because ESPN Plus and ESPN has not been good this year. I agree. It should have been top 10 protected. But Stan Bowman is a complete and utter idiot. He's one of the worst was one of the worst GMs in hockey, and he did what he did and gave up a top 5 pick, basically. With him being under investigation last offseason, I would not have allowed him to be a GM during a lot. Since he was under investigation for the scandal, I would have said, dude, you're suspended until we figure all this stuff out. You're not allowed to run this team. And if we find anything where you are at fault, you're fired. You're terminated, and you're not allowed back with this organization. But the Hawks did it wrong, and they allowed Bowman to be the GM last offseason, and it cost us. Because they could have just let Kyle Davidson run as interim GM until after the investigation happened, and then promoted Davidson to full-time GM. But Stan Bowman was a complete and utter idiot. Worst GM in team history. A lot of retirements today, I see. Did Kyle Beach announce retirement today? Oh, I agree. Bowman should have been fired a long time ago. I don't know how they allowed him as GM for how long he was. He was a terrible GM for a long time, and frankly, I don't know how he had his job for the time he did, because he was horrible. So let's go do something fun real quick. Tank. I'm going to share stream. So right here, this is the Tankathon, where it shows just for fun, to see if what happens. Like right now, it's Montreal and Arizona with the highest odds to get first and second overall. Hawks at 6th overall. That pick currently belongs to the Blue Jackets if the Hawks don't move up into the top 2. Let's see what happens on the first click here, guys. I'm okay with Jones getting named captain because he's like the only good player going. And right here, it remains basically unchanged. So let's reset this and roll again. There's no change again. Really thinks the Montreal and Arizona are going to own that pick. And right here, as you can see, on this roll, after 3 rolls, it moved the Hawks from 6th overall all the way up to 1st overall in the draft lottery. That will be a good pick. Shane Wright's a good player. Yeah, Austin Watson's a questionable alternate captain. Shane Wright is a good prospect. That would be a good time to move up. But reset again, back down to 6 overall. Another roll. This time Seattle and Buffalo moves up, and the Hawks drop down to 7th overall, and that makes the draft pick weaker for the Blue Jackets. The thing is that 2nd overall, it's really a toss-up on who's going at 2nd overall this year, Hawthorne. Pretty much everyone has it where it's going to be Shane Wright going 1st overall with the pick this year. Another roll. Again, Hawks move down, Flyers win, and Ottawa win. So it's something interesting to see. Our pick could move down, and it makes the pick a little bit weaker for the Blue Jackets. You think 6th overall is any good? This year's draft is really a toss-up, Hawthorne. It's not the greatest draft going in. It's a lot of questions after 1st overall. And if the Hawks don't win it, I'm not going to be mad. I think next year's draft is more important to just get a higher value pick and a higher value prospect next year versus this year. Logan Cooley. Okay. So 15 minutes till the draft lottery. Yeah, I know what you're where you're coming from. There. Let's see the mock draft. On Tankathon, here's the mock draft. What it's showing could go in the top 6 at number 1 overall. Shane Wright. We got a few players here. Logan Cooley projected 4th overall by Tankathon. This is where Joachim Kimnell is an interesting one. Like, to be quite honest, this year's draft isn't the greatest to be drafting in. Yes, now it's a waiting game because by now they've already done the drawing. I'm willing to bet it gets leaked before the actual lottery gets going. Oh, are the Hawks hinting at something here? Are the Hawks hinting at something? Did they leak that we won the first overall pick? I'm willing to bet they did not, but one can say. Hey, Drive. Do you think the Blackhawks this year will be more forward or defenseman goaltended folk? I think it's going to be a mix of forwards and goaltending. Yeah, the Hawks just tweeted this out, guys. That's the last what the Hawks just tweeted out. Does that mean we win Shane Wright? Teams probably don't know, but they might. I don't know because the last time they showed the GM show up to the draft lottery was the 2019 draft lottery, and they showed Stan Bowman's face smirking after uh, before the draft lottery results were named, and that ended up being the Hawks getting the third overall selection for Kirby Dach. So maybe I don't think so though. But the last time we did draft first overall, it was number 88, Patrick Kane. Brian, it would have to be if we win the lottery or not. Thing is, I would rather have our pick for next year. I like Shane Wright. He's a good prospect. Logan Cooley's another good prospect, but next year's draft is a lot more important this year's, in my opinion. Because let's be honest, the Hawks win this lottery, we don't have our first round pick next year. Oh yeah, Kaner worked out very well for us. Greatest American-born player of all time and three-time Stanley Cup champion, a Hart Trophy, a Ted Lindsay, a scoring title for the Art Ross. Kaner is the greatest American-born all time. Hawkthorne. Here's the thing. If we win the first or second overall this year, that pick next year does not belong to us. It automatically belongs to the Blue Jackets if we win first or second overall this year. So if we don't win it this year, then I would love us for a chance to have a first overall pick next season. Because Connor Bedard is supposed to be the next McDavid. Yeah, I did not like that pick last year. I will say this right now. I did not like the Hawks drafting Nolan Allen last year with our first round pick. That was not a good pick. The Hawks probably could have had Allen in the second round if they wanted him that bad. They wasted a first round pick on Nolan Allen. I could be completely wrong, and Allen could become the next Brent Seabrook or something like that, but that pick was not the right pick to take. Yeah. If it was a later draft pick, Allen would have been a fine pick. A first round pick, I think, was a waste of a pick. Oh no! Oh wait, what? Chris Foster's Blackhawks play-by-play guy.
The Blackhawks are coming to Milwaukee.
Well, I'm not Rocky Warts, that's for sure. Chris Foster's announced that the Hawks will be playing probably a preseason game in Milwaukee next season. This coming season. I don't expect it to be a regular season game. I expect it to be a preseason game. Yeah. Well, we are officially 5 minutes away from the draft lottery. Yep, Anthony, that's what Stan Bowman plan obviously was. He knew he was going to get fired, and after the investigation was over, he might as well screw over the organization even more. Because Stan Bowman is one of the worst human beings on earth. Piece of crap. Yeah. I kind of am with you there, Anthony. If we move up to first overall, that's fine. We get Shane Wright. But if we get the second overall pick, it's going to suck. Hey, Guy, how are you? Guys, if you're just joining the stream, make sure to please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will highly appreciate it as we are on that road to hitting 1,000 subscribers. We are 150 subscribers away. Let's do it. Again, draft lottery has not begun yet. It's going to start. Yes, it officially starts at 5:30, Brian. Let me get ESPN up on my phone so I can see what's going on. The draft lottery show is now activated. I don't know, Brian. This year's draft is just so iffy, and also we don't even know if we have our first round pick this year because we know if the Wild do eliminate the Blues and somehow get past the Avalanche, we get the first round pick from the Wild. He's both, Thomas. He's the most overrated and most and frankly worst GM in Blackhawks history. Bowman took credit of the 2010 Cup because yes, he was the acting GM at the time. Yeah, that was Dale's team in 2010. Dale Talon built the 2010 roster. I never liked Bowman. Oh yeah, what Q did was terrible. That's a fair statement. Let me grab my earbud so I can hear what's going on in this draft lottery. All right. Yeah, but he wasn't smart either. All right, here we go. It's draft lottery time to see if Stan Bowman screwed over the Hawks even more, or if we manage getting ourselves Shane Wright. The thing with this draft, the draft will be hosted by the Montreal Canadiens. Yura Slokowski is a good prospect. No, it was my cat. It was my sister's cat. Yes, I know we could have had Zegras by like Kirby Doc. The other Jack Hughes. Not the Jack Hughes of the Devils, but the other Jack Hughes that's eligible for the draft this year. All right. Yeah, the Ducks reached and they got a diamond on Zegras. Watch the Devils end up getting the other Jack Hughes. Yeah, a lot of people were saying the Hawks did reach on Doc. Yeah, I feel like Kirby could do a lot better with Colton on his wing. And I do project a breakout season this coming season. Oh yeah, I forgot the Sharks are in a GM hunt. They're just showing the GMs right now. I don't remember that, Brian, because Byram ended up going to the Avalanche. Kingston's Shane Wright is a good player. Shane Wright's a good young player to look into if the Hawks do get first overall. He's been projected to go first overall for like the last year, probably 2 years. Well, if they can do it, go after Barry Trotz. I think Wright could step in next season and play immediately, but maybe it will be smart to let him develop a little bit before he came in so they don't waste him. Oh yeah, Barry Trotz is a good rebuilding coach. He did it with the Islanders. He did it with the Predators by being the coach from their expansion draft for upwards of 15 years behind the bench. He went into a situation with the Capitals where they were ready to win, they just needed the right coach to do so. And also, you'll bring a defensive scheme that the Hawks could really utilize. The Hawks' defensive scheme plan for the past year, probably 6 years, have been horrendous. I can't believe this channel is almost 5 years old. Yeah, I agree. Just give Barry a call and say, hey, we can offer you money. You could come to Chicago, a great city, and enjoy the city of Chicago. Pay him as much as they can, because honestly, the Hawks could pay as much money as any team could for a head coach, especially one of the caliber of Barry Trotz. You pay a man that whatever he's asking. If he's asking for upwards of $10 million, hell, give it to him. He deserves it. He's the best active head coach that's on the free agent market. Because Coach Q, I don't know if he gets a job anytime ever, a job. And any other coaches on the market, they're not Barry Trotz. Yeah, $6 million it would be worth it, but pay. If you could get Barry Trotz to come to Chicago, build our defense, build our team, I think this rebuild could go quicker than I was thinking. Because frankly, realistically, this rebuild is is like 3 years out from being real good and competitive again. $10 million and some free Chicago style pizza. So whatever, take it. Yeah, if he's asking for $10 million, you're getting a Hall of Fame head coach behind the bench that could maybe boost the young players coming up, get Kane and Taves to stay. You can have something go well. And I believe Steph Jones actually did play with Barry Trotz behind the bench when he was a rookie in Nashville. And yes, the rebuild will go much faster with Barry Trotz. I do think Reichel ends up being a full-time NHLer next season. Maybe start him out in Rockford a little bit and then call him up. I don't want the Hawks to rush Reichel. Okay, here comes the cards of the draft picks. Executive Commissioner Bill Daly at the helm at the podium, ready to announce the picks. This will belong to. Okay. The Buffalo Sabres get 16th overall from Vegas. Vegas's first round pick goes to Vegas to Buffalo for the 16th overall selection. The Vancouver Canucks remain at 15th. Vancouver remains at 15th. Montreal gets 14th overall, should be the Jets. The Islanders. There's the dinosaur and fossil of Lou Lamoriello seeing the 13th overall selection of the Islanders. The 12th overall selection now. The Columbus Blue Jackets. They remain at 12th. They're now 11th overall. The San Jose Sharks remain at 11th. I'm not refreshing. 10th overall. And also I'm have the stream on a delay. The Ducks are at 10. The Ducks have a good team get ready to go. They're getting to Buffalo at 9th overall. If Buffalo wins, they move into the top 2. The Buffalo Sabres remain at 9th overall. Buffalo has 9th and 16th overall. Detroit's up next for 8th overall. If Detroit wins, they move up. The Hawks drop down, probably. Detroit remains at 8th. Ottawa's up next. If they win, they move into the top 2. The Hawks remain at 6, and that would go to the Jackets. 7th overall. Ottawa Senators at 7th overall. The Hawks are now up on the clock. If this pick remains at 6th overall, it goes to the Jackets. If it goes into the top 2, we are in. And it's the Blue Jackets getting the 6th overall selection because Stan Bowman sucks. Stan Bowman can go screw himself, boys. We are going to be drafting in the first round next year. Philadelphia remains at 5th overall. The Devils moved into the top 2. Are you kidding me? How do these Devils get top picks all the time? They're the freaking Oilers of the 2010s. The Seattle Kraken are now drafting 4th overall. The Devils have moved into the top 2. Yep, Thomas, we have 0 first-round pick unless the Wild get to the conference final and Fleury wins 2 more games in the playoffs. Watch the freaking Devils end up getting Shane Wright because they won 2 first overall picks in the last since 2017. The Devils are legitimately this freaking Edmonton Oilers of the 2010s. The Devils selected with first overall in 2017 Nico Hischier, and in 2019 first overall with Jack Hughes. They're going to watch them get Shane Wright because they don't need they win this draft lottery again. This is going to be my complaint if this happens. We need the Wild to make it to the conference final, guys. We don't have our first round pick. Clearly, but it didn't work out really for the Oilers, even though they have McDavid and Draisaitl, but they haven't done anything with it. Still think the Kings beat them in the first round. So let's see who gets the first overall selection. It's just in commercial waiting for this pick to happen. This is going to be either Arizona or Montreal at number 3. Arizona dropped down. That means the Devils moved into second or first overall. The Devils are going to get the first overall pick, aren't they? Or the Montreal Canadiens get the first overall selection and the Devils get the second overall. Montreal got the first overall selection where the Devils get the second overall. The Canadiens will be hosting the first overall selection in Montreal, so they get Shane Wright. Yep. So guys, with Montreal winning the first overall selection, the Hawks don't have a draft pick now because we traded that for this in the Steph Jones trade. That pick now belongs to the Columbus Blue Jackets, who are going to be picking 6th and 12th overall this year because Stan Bowman's a freaking idiot. So the Hawks do not have a first round pick unless the Wild make it to the conference final and Marc-Andre Fleury gets 2 more wins in the playoffs. He just needs a total of 4 wins as the starting netminder for the Wild in the playoffs and the Wild to make the conference final. So, here's our thing. We need the Wild to make the conference final, guys, if we want a first round pick this year. If that happens, that's good. We have a first round pick and the Hawks can draft this year in the first round. Otherwise, the Hawks will be waiting till the second round to make our first selection this year in the draft, which is not ideal for a team that's in a rebuild. Because Stan Bowman, former GM of the Chicago Blackhawks, traded away our first round pick this year, our first round pick last year, and Adam Boqvist last year for Steph Jones. The Hawks don't have much capital for going into this draft. If they give first round pick because the Wild end up going to the conference final and Marc-Andre Fleury ends up with 2 more wins in the playoffs, we're good and we have a first round pick. But how we're sitting, we do not. Stan's not a genius. He's a freaking moron. He didn't get hosed. I think he did it on purpose. Drive. I frankly think Stan Bowman knew he was going to get fired after the investigation was over, and he wanted to screw over the organization before he left. He didn't. I think he knew what he was doing, and I think he wanted to do it. Wanted to screw over the organization before he left. I get it. You're being sarcastic, but Bowman's a freaking moron. Gustafson's not going to return to the Hawks next year. I think his time in the NHL is over. I think Gustafson ends up in a European league next year, probably the Finnish league or a Swedish league, one of the two, because those are 2 of the top leagues over in Europe. Maybe I would say the KHL is the top, but I'm not getting into the KHL because teams are leaving the KHL because what's happened with Russia attacking Ukraine and all. So, guys, I've been streaming for just under an hour. I'll finish this off once it hits the hour mark. I want to say thank you for coming to the live stream. And we now know Stan Bowman's plan of screwing over the Hawks even more happened. And we have a tough offseason, don't we? Have to get a head coach. A video on head coach's decision will be coming out. My season review of the Chicago Blackhawks 2022 season will be coming out pretty soon here. And I have some fun videos coming out. I have the Rockford Ice Hog playoff videos. I was trying to do my vlog for that, and that didn't happen because I had my file get ruined. It was a good vlog I made for game 1 of the playoffs, but it's going to be tough for a team in a rebuild. Yeah, it's going to be tough without a first round pick for a rebuilding franchise. So, guys, I want to say thank you for coming to the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, let's go Hawks.